नीतियों में निर्णय लेने के स्थान पर हमने प्रण लिया कि जब चंद्रयान-3 सफलतापूर्वक चांद पर पहुंचेगा तब हम दोनों पॉइंट का नाम एक साथ रखेंगे। और आज मुझे लगता है कि जब हर घर तिरंगा है, जब हर मन तिरंगा है और चांद पर भी तिरंगा है, तो तिरंगा के सिवाय चंद्रयान-2 से जुड़े उस स्थान को और क्या नाम दिया जा सकता है। इसलिए चंद्रमा के जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान-2 ने अपने पदचिन्ह छोड़े हैं, वो पॉइंट अब तिरंगा कहलाएगा।
Once again, India Today wins Best Channel of the Year.
Thank you very much, viewers, for making the India Today group the most awarded TV news network at the ENVA Awards 2023.
And viewer, we've got a big Pragyan rover update on the Chandrayaan-3 mission's day number 6 since the successful landing. The rover Pragyan has successfully crossed its first obstacle. We can confirm to you that the first obstacle has been crossed. The Pragyan has crossed a 100mm deep crater. We've got the newest images that we're going to put on your screen in just a moment now of the 2 new still images that the ISRO has just released. ISRO proving once again Pragyan's super sturdiness. 2 fresh images have just come in. Let me just get our producers to put those 2 new images on our screen. Let's go across to Akshita for more on this. Akshita, great news. Finally, we're hearing from Pragyan, the first images taken by the rover itself. Looks like he's doing great, being able to navigate a crater, being able to, retrace his steps, figuring out that some craters are a little too big and can't really be, negotiated safely. How's it going?
It's a story of 2 craters essentially, Shiv. One that Pragyan successfully crossed and the other where scientists realized this is too big a challenge and moved back. The first one which you're referring to, which is the first obstacle, was about 100 mm in depth. Now, scientists believe that that is okay. It's not your biggest crater. There are much bigger ones on the moon's south pole, particularly in pictures that several astrophysicists also shared to show you what the surface of the moon looks like, completely ridden with craters. So this one, scientists said we can go ahead and try to cross, and successfully Pragyan has done that. So it's got the capability and is sturdy enough to overcome small craters in which its wheel doesn't really get stuck. But there was also another challenge, which is that it came across a 4-meter wide crater, Shiv. So you can imagine how big that is, considering that Pragyan in about 5 hours a day covers 5 meters. So considering that 4 meters was a big challenge, and scientists were worried that if they attempt to cross this, there would be a problem, that they would have a problem problem actually getting through to the rover. It could get stuck in there, which would mean unnecessary risks that they are essentially taking, which is the picture that you also see there on the extreme right of your screens. That's the crater that ISRO decided to avoid. So Pragyan went almost 3 meters close to that 4-meter wide crater, and then that's when scientists said, let's head back. So you see that particular print on the surface of the moon. That is Pragyan coming back, retracing its footsteps after realizing, after scientists said they were not going to take any chances. All of this happening courtesy the navigation camera that's on board the rover Shiv that sends across pictures constantly to ISRO. Of course, it's a huge trouble to download these massive pictures and then kind of understand what the terrain looks like and then move the rover forward.
Really fantastic. We finally heard from Pragyan. We've been missing him since he exited the Vikram lander 6 days ago. Great to hear that all is well. The pictures look fabulous. We can't wait to see that one picture of him turning around and snapping us a nice big full frame picture of the Vikram lander itself on Shiv Shakti Point. We'll be waiting for that, and I'm going to put that question in a moment to the ISRO team that's standing by to take our questions. Akshata, thanks so much for that. Thanks so much. We've got more breaking news coming in. And after the moon, with that mission still ongoing, ISRO is all set to launch its next mission to the sun. India Today's news break from a few days ago stands confirmed, with the ISRO officially announcing that it will be launching the Aditya L1 mission to the sun on the 2nd of September. 11:50 a.m. is the launch time. That's the coming Saturday at 11:50 a.m. September the 2nd is when that launch takes place. All eyes on the sun now. Obviously, the spacecraft can't go very close to the sun, but it's still going to conduct India's first ever space mission to study the star at the center of our solar system. India Today's Pramod Madhav has been tracking this very closely. He, in fact, was in Sriharikota during the launch of the Chandrayaan-3 rocket as well. Pramod, I'm sure you're going to be headed to Sriharikota in a few days, this week, this weekend. It's the sun we're heading for.
It absolutely is, Shiv, and it's an amazing project because we have decided, ISRO has decided to go ahead and investigate research about a star. And they have decided to go closer to the star that is near to us, and that is the sun, a 4.5 billion year old sun. And the distance, it's very interesting how ISRO is going to accomplish it, because what they are going to do is that they are going to station Aditya L1 at a position called as Lagrange, which means a place where the actual gravity of Earth and Sun almost seems to be the same, where around this point, if they can place the satellite, it can orbit in a halo position by which it will have 24/7 view of the sun and collect data about the surface of the sun, how it is acting, especially about solar flare and such. These are very important, crucial information which actually can show or predict the way the Earth's weather pattern changes, the electromagnetic waves here changes as well. So this is like really far-fetched research where now ISRO has decided to go ahead after the Chandrayaan-3 success.
Really looking forward to that, and I envy you, Pramod. You saw the mission to the moon. Now you're going to be witnessing our mission to the sun as well. It's going to be fantastic. Our coverage is going to be absolutely stellar, no pun intended, of course, and we will be bringing you the very latest in the run-up to that as well. And now for our big national exclusive. And on day 6 of the Chandrayaan-3 mission, very honored to be joined live from the ISRO headquarters in Bengaluru by Dr. Somanth and his entire team from the Chandrayaan-3 program. Good evening, Dr. Somanth. So lovely to have you with us. Thank you for your time, and I know you're busy, but it's been a momentous few days. It's 6 days since the launch. The Prime Minister also was there just a few days ago to honor all of you on Saturday. I know you can't talk in detail about what's happening on the moon right now because everything is being analyzed. We just saw those beautiful images of the Pragyan, which I'll come to in a moment. But I'd like to start because you did want to speak about this, Dr. Somanth, about how you and your team felt to be honored by the Prime Minister on Saturday morning. How special was that for you?
Thank you for this opportunity. So all of you know that we wanted our Honorable Prime Minister on the day of the landing itself. Of course, you know that he was out of the country and the date cannot be changed as well, the landing day, because it is the day of beginning of the daytime of the moon. So it had to be like that. But then he joined us virtually from South Africa. That was so graceful for us to watch him on the screen, and we explaining all that to him, and immediately after that he addressed us and congratulated us, and he offered us that he will be coming here and then spending time with us basically to congratulate us. And all of us were elated by his presence, as all of you know that he has a magical presence, especially when you interact with him, and he's so very vocal about what we did, our contributions for us. And he also said very sorry for being inviting all of you so early in the morning to assemble for this meeting, and he blamed it on himself, that because of him that you people have to suffer. Then I said that this is a culture of ISRO, that we work here for hours together. We don't go home that easily. So that's okay. And he was congratulating us and also telling that the work done by ISRO is very inspirational. And it must be a message to the new generation of people that are intended to take up science, engineering, and exploration in the future. So we look for his advice, his vision, and also wanted to hear very much congratulatory message from him. And it's not for those people in Chandrayaan-3 alone; it's for the entire ISRO, because we are into many tasks. Many teams are working across, and everybody need a little bit of words of praise for their very personal contributions and sacrifices they make. So we were very thankful for that from the highest leader of this country.
Dr. Somnath, one of the big announcements that the Prime Minister made, and we are still letting all of that sink in while we see all these beautiful images being released by ISRO on a daily basis, and we consume it with a great deal of anticipation, is the declaration of August 23rd. The day you and your amazing team landed on the South Pole of the Moon, creating space history as National Space Day. That's been declared. What went through your mind when that announcement was made by the Prime Minister?
Yes, I think that's great. We have been celebrating only World Space Week so far, which is a global space week which celebrates the accomplishment of nations other than us. Now there is a day that celebrates accomplishment of India. I think this is something very personal, something very much to our heart. And we look forward for celebration from next year onwards on how to celebrate 23rd of August as the National Space Day, as much as vigor and energy as we celebrate the October 4th to 10th, the World Space Week as well. So
we can't wait.
It's something very unique that we have set. And you understand that though it is National Space Day, it is for the entire world. Because going there, we are the first. I think we must have our place in the history of the world.
And honestly, Dr. Somnath, can't wait to see how ISRO celebrates its first National Space Day next year. So we're all going to be waiting for that. The other thing that was announced when the Prime Minister came, and visited you on Saturday was the declaration of the landing points. There was a lot of suspense. People didn't know what the landing point was going to be named. Would the Prime Minister reveal it? Would you and your team be revealing it? Shiv Shakti was named, the landing point was named Shiv Shakti. Did you know about it in advance, or was that a surprise when the Prime Minister brought it out?
Oh, those prerogatives for naming this has to be given to only Modi ji. Though we know a little bit about it, but the real decision is made by him as well. So I am not fully aware of what was in his mind before he decided, because these are very Indian names, which he elaborated on them, why it is significant. Yeah. And he connected the Shiva Shakti to the contribution of the women. And right on my side, we have the Associate Project Director, Kalpana. It works with the Shiva Shakti. So they are there. So it only shows the type of message that he is trying to give through this naming. And Tiranga, of course, is very important because Tiranga is the name of Indian flag. And the Indianness about the flag. Now, it comes naturally without causing any other negative emotions. So for everybody, it is acceptable. So that type of naming, it's very unique that he can only conceive.
And since you mentioned it as Shiv Shakti, the one of the most evocative images that we saw there, Dr. Somnath, was the Prime Minister and yourself interacting with the entire community of women scientists of ISRO, which has always been something so to be so completely proud of. Those images of those amazing scientists have gone completely viral everywhere. It's been an eye-opener on to so many people at so many levels. Dr. Kalpana is sitting next to you. She's an associate director in the Chandrayaan-3 program. Ma'am, Dr. Kalpana, if I could come to you, if you can hear me, how did you feel specifically being honored by the Prime Minister on Nari Shakti?
Thank you. And it was very inspiring. And our Honorable Prime Minister had taken this as the first task immediately after reaching our country. He wanted to meet us and congratulate us. This itself indicates how much he's interested in the task completed by our ISRO team. So it was so inspiring.
I think what those images have done in terms of sending a message out to Indians everywhere and to people everywhere is that this kind of thing is completely normal for ISRO. 30% of the community in ISRO is comprised by women, so it's really no big deal to see top-level women scientists in ISRO. Many people in ISRO have been wondering why this has been going viral, because this is so completely normal for people like you. But the big news coming out today, Dr. Somnath, which is something that India Today had actually reported a few days ago, with the upcoming projects. There's no rest for you and your team. You're busy with Chandrayaan-3. The Pragyan is sending us back those images, on a daily basis now, hopefully. But you've got the Aditya L1 mission to the sun that's blasting off this Saturday. You've got Gaganyaan after that. So no rest for any of you, sir.
I realize that after so many years of service in ISRO, the pressure is something that is good for us. It keeps us, motivated to do better. And I believe that all those who are joining ISRO are a little bit trained on handling this part of it. And when there was no difficulty of working during the COVID time, actually we got frustrated. Not because of that that we are unable to go to office. And many people were coming somehow to office to do work. This is the type of change. And most of us worked during COVID time, but except for the industry support, we could have done much better. So today, after the COVID and after the space sector being very active today, we are really enjoying the task ahead of us and having many more missions to come. And you would have heard that 3 satellites got ready in just 1 month. And that's something that we are ready to do. And rocket people are also very happily assembling at least 3 rockets simultaneously at Satish Dhawan Space Center. It has not happened before. So we all realized in my early days of ISRO, the culture has not changed. We always believe that every individual has a capacity far beyond that you ever thought. That you can actually excel in do things which is that you have been somehow trained in your mind that this is your limit. I think there is nothing like that. Ordinary people can really accomplish extraordinary things provided you are motivated enough. You have a fire burning inside. I think that's what is happening in ISRO.
Dr. Somnath, last 2 questions. This is something my viewers have wanted to ask you, which is, how do space scientists with such high-pressure jobs de-stress? How do you de-stress?
Ultimately, all of us are human beings, and they all have the similar psychology. I have no other medicine for them than what is general. All of you, even media people, have enough of pressures. You know how to unwind. But our method of unwinding here are a little more different. I believe that individuals, they find their own ways. There is no partying. There is no social, that so-called social life. I think this part is actually very, very less amongst destroyers. They find more solace in reading. They may find in meeting families. They will find better measures by unwinding through music and fine arts. I know, I think they all found some other passion of studying something else than what you are doing. Sometimes language, sometimes music, sometimes art forms. And all of them are very fantastically talented people around. I have seen that. So creativity is one way of unwinding, other than what you do technical. I think this is one thing I understood. This is for majority of the people. I can always say that comment about the majority.
Final question before I let you go, Dr. Somnath, is, when the Vikram landed, an old video of yours really dancing it up on a dance floor have gone viral. It's an old video. It's not related to Chandrayaan-3. But everybody is now of the opinion that you can be a space hero and you can have fantastic moves on the dance floor. What do you have to say about that?
We were also young once, so don't forget about that.
You will always be young, considering, what you've achieved, what you've inspired in all Indians. All I can say is we wish you the best. May you stay forever young and may you continue to inspire. All the very best for the rest of Chandrayaan-3 and all the very best for Aditya L1, Gaganyaan and beyond. Team Chandrayaan led by Dr. Somanth. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on India Today. In an age of celebrity news anchors, the spotlight on faces goes with the job, doesn't it? But thanks to the love and loyalty of you, the viewer, 5 Live, this show that you love, has just won 2 awards at the broadcast industry's biggest night. Everything in our world is personality driven these days, from the news to politics to sports and everything in between. But for me personally, these awards provide me with an opportunity to repeat something that isn't said often enough, in my opinion. Anchors like me and every other anchor you know, is beloved of you, the viewer, because of an